Hello there, boxing fans. Once again, thank you for joining me here on Talkin Fight for another episode of Boxing News Today. And today we're going to start off with a couple of announcements regarding some undercards coming up on some decent fights. First up, the undercard on the Jared Anderson versus Andrii Rudenko fight taking place on August 26th. It was going to be interesting to see, but now we now know who's going to be on that undercard. None other than the fellow who was supposed to fight Anderson before having visa issues and then allowing Charles Martin to step in. So Jan Kozabutsky will now fight Efe Ajagba. Now this is good news it's good news for both of them, quite frankly, because Kozabutsky's 19-0, 18 knockouts, whereas Ajagba is 17-1 with 13 knockouts. And so it can go either way for sure. It's a good, decent heavyweight battle. And if Ajagba can score an impressive win over Kozabutsky, he'll be right back in the picture as far as another big fight opportunity goes, and probably likewise as well for Kozabutsky. So anyway, it's going to be a decent night of heavyweight action either way you look at it. Because I'm quite certain that Anderson will make quick work out of Rudenko. And I'm hoping you'll agree with me, especially if you're from England. With respect to Anderson, he did have a few things to say when asked about his career so far. Undefeated, as we all know. 14 knockouts in his first 14 fights, and then going the distance against Charles Martin. As he heads into this showdown with Rudenko on the 27th, he said he's only shown 50, maybe 55% of what he can really do in the ring. I have a bag of tricks that I've not yet unleashed. I don't say much. I just let my work do the talking for me, he says. I know potentially I'm going to get into a fight where I'm going to have to unleash that whole bag and everybody will see it. And they're going to be like, wow, we never knew you could do this. But I knew the whole time. I just didn't say anything because I'm not one to talk about it. So that's some decent news out of Jared Big Baby Anderson, or the real Big Baby Anderson. What a weird nickname. But anyway. In the city that never sleeps, Las Vegas, Nonito Donaire and Alejandro Santiago preparing to bring their A game to the illustrious T-Mobile Arena. This fight will be part of the Spence Jr. versus Terrence Crawford undercard. We'll see the two boxers compete for the WBC Bantamweight World Championship. The originally planned Gurgen Hovhannisyan versus Victor Faust has been canceled due to unforeseen injuries. So as a result, Donaire and Santiago will go toe-to-toe, and they will be the second showdown of the pay-per-view spectacle. Isaac Pitbull Cruz will cross gloves with Giovanni Cabrera. Their 12-rounder will determine the next contender for the WBC and WBA lightweight titles. Meanwhile, it might be added, Nonito Donaire is a seasoned warrior, and he's itching to add another title to his resume. Having once reveled in the glory of the bantamweight title, he's now hungry to reclaim his place at the top. His thirst for the championship is huge as he readies himself to rise to the occasion once again. And he said, "This historic boxing night is my stage to become a world champion again." Alejandro Santiago is setting his sights on the bantamweight title for the first time. Despite a stumble against Gary Antonio Russell back in 2021, Santiago has been on a roll and appears ready to seize the golden opportunity with everything he's got. Reflecting on his journey, Santiago declared, "I've been thirsting for another world title shot for 5 years. A 2-week extension won't faze me." His gratitude towards his team and excitement for the grand event on July 29th is evident. Also making waves is the rising star Jonas Telles. This Cuban-born talent, now training in Texas with Shields, is brimming with enthusiasm to make a name for himself. In the same vein, despite recent challenges, Sergio Garcia remains steadfast in his quest for greatness, ready to give a knockout performance and inch closer to a world title. Good stuff. All right, let's move along. Eimantas Stanionis is not too happy with Golden Boy. Following the latest collapse of a fight between Virgil Ortiz and Eimantas Stanionis, Stanionis goes in depth on why he's pissed off with Golden Boy for putting him through hell after Ortiz had to withdraw, refusing to compensate him for his training expenses and even making it almost impossible to change travel arrangements for him and his team once it was clear the fight was off. I'm very mad at Golden Boy, because they treated us very terrible, Stanionis said. They didn't say what, when, how, when. Basically, it started from scratch. From Wednesday, we're flying to LAX, Los Angeles Airport to San Antonio. And on the same flight, we had people from Golden Boy representatives. So they told us the same day we were supposed to do the face-off at Elm Dome at 6 p.m. And they say it's canceled because Virgil got sick. And we asked if the fight is off, and they said, no, everything's good. So I was thinking he's making weight, and he doesn't want to change his training schedule. So we were flying, and nobody said nothing. In the evening, I started my weight cutting process, dehydration process, like we all do. It's a normal thing for us fighters. And then I went to sleep. I slept really terrible because when you don't drink no water, you just are in this kind of state, you don't feel good. So in the morning, usually I go for a walk, just drink some espresso or something. So me and my team went for a walk, and my manager called and he asked me if I can come back to the hotel. I said, I'll come like an hour and a half. He said, the fight might be off. I was like, oh, what's going on? I was thinking he couldn't make weight, so probably we'll negotiate some different weight, like 150, 152. I don't know. I came to the hotel. We sat down, and basically they told me the fight is off. I said, maybe they'll find some replacement or something. Just give me a fight. Or after a week or two on another show. And they said, no. So I asked also about compensation. I said I spent a lot of money on training camp, and they just ignored that fact. Everybody just left me and my team like they didn't care. And the same day they were speaking about Virgil. His manager went on Twitter like a few hours later and posted like 150, 154, easy work. I think, first of all, he should take care of his fighter, see how his health is, and don't think about when what the next thing is. To be honest, I don't really know what what happened. If he fainted on Wednesday, I just wish him a speedy recovery. It's possible because we make weight and we put our body through hell sometimes. I'm just basically mad. They knew on Wednesday that if they say on Wednesday morning he collapsed, he fainted, and they don't inform me, and I had to go through all this cutting weight process and nobody informed me. I'm so mad. There's no apology. No, I'm sorry. Everything talking about him and Ennis. I was working silence. I was just laughing. They're speaking the future like I'm not existing. So anyway, the full story could be read on badlefthook.com if you're interested, but that in a nutshell is it. He's a little upset at Golden Boy, and I guess he wants a little bit of cash for all of his trouble. 154-pound mandatory in the WBO's world. Tim Tsyzu, once undisputed junior middleweight champ Jermell Charlo, stripped of his 4 titles, given that he's moving up to 168 to challenge 4-belt champion Canelo Alvarez for his straps on September 30th. WBO interim champ Tsyzu was next in line to challenge Jermell for his undisputed 154-pound championship in October, but not anymore. With Jermell leaving his titles behind to go pick up a bag against Canelo, the belts should all be stripped. Jermell should have done the right thing by vacating his titles as soon as his contract was signed to fight Canelo. That would have been the honorable thing for Jermell to have done, because he likely knows already that he won't be returning to the 154-pound division to continue to defend those titles. Charlo, who's 35, 1-1, 19 knockouts, is obviously holding on to his titles at 154 just in case things don't go well against Canelo. If he loses that fight, then he'll want to return to 154 to resume defending them. It's not convenient for Tsyzu because he'll need to wait until likely 2024 before he gets a chance to fight for those belts. And there's a good chance that Tsyzu will be elevated from interim WBO 154 champ to full champ once Jermell is stripped, or if he vacates. And if that happens, Tsyzu will need to defend against number 1 contender Josh Kelly, who was elevated to the top spot on Tuesday by the World Boxing Organization. So let's see what else we got on today. Yes. And in the last story today, we'll talk about what Mike Coppinger of ESPN has reported on, because he revealed that super lightweight contender Arnold Barboza Jr. is now a free agent after parting ways with Top Rank. Barboza, as you all know, 28-0, 10 knockouts, is now free to contact other promoters, though Top Rank has matching rights for the next 6 months. The split appears to have been completely amicable. Top Rank matchmaker Bruce Trampler wished Barboza the best, and manager Rick Meringian claims the promotion did their best to secure a fight with Teofimo Lopez. I want to thank Top Rank, Bob Arum, Bruce Trampler, and Brad Goodman for 8 amazing years and developing me in one of the top contenders in my division, said Barboza. I also want to thank the crew over at ESPN for their time. I now look forward to trying to secure the best and biggest fights out there. And with my manager and father, Arnold Sr., I know this will be accomplished. Assuming Barboza, by the way, doesn't switch gears and pursue one of the other 3 titles, he's in line to battle Jose Ramirez Jr. at some point. The pair who sit atop the WBO rankings were briefly teed up for a vacant title fight, but that fell through on Lopez, by his own admission, unretired specifically to spite Barboza and David Haney. The Haney-Lopez would presumably call for Barboza-Ramirez eliminator. Though they're no longer officially stablemates, the circumstances should hypothetically make it easier to put that fight together. So there you have it, boxing fans. All the news fit to print today. Thank you for joining me. Appreciate it. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'll see you later on at 4 p.m. when I join Mike Orr for his show, Knuckle Up.